Wow, here we are again. We're going to see the description of Satan. He has many descriptions. And then we're going to read those in the Bible. Well, we're going to look at them. And then you discover them for yourself by looking up the scriptures and following through with them. For 2 Thessalonians 2:9 is the end time dispensation. That's the end time dispensation of the devil. Matthew 24:11 through 24, again, is an end time prophecy of Satan. Now Ezekiel 28:14, Lucifer before the fall. Now before he was the devil, before he was Satan, he was Lucifer. And you're going to see, read that. Luke 10:18, Satan as Lucifer. This is what he became. He was God's angel in heaven. And he fell. He was cast out of heaven because he took unto his own self the thought that he would raise himself higher than the one that created him. We've seen that before. We've seen a man in a mill or a plant or somewhere and had a good boss and has a guy on the floor doing work, and he works and he works. About 6 or 7 years into the situation, he gets to the head guy a little bit, passes the boss man there, and tells him how smart he is and everything. Next thing you know, he's sitting up there in the chair and taking the boss's place because he bypassed the boss. Well, Satan tried to do that with God, but he couldn't do that, but that's what he tried. Now we got Zechariah 3:1 and 2. Satan is the adversary. And as the adversary, we read about him there being that. We see again, Job 2:6 and 7. Job realized who the adversary really was. 1 Corinthians 5:4 and 5. Satan is the adversary all the way through the New Testament. And he's not just that. Let's look at 1 Corinthians, Matthew 16:22 through 23. He is the arch deceiver. He's the arch deceiver. That means he is the head deceiver. He is the head guy deceiver. And then Job 1:13 through 19, he is the destroyer. Verses 2 and 7. John 10:10, Satan is the destroyer again. Genesis 2:17, 3 and 4, Satan as the father of lies. He could be called Satan, Lucifer, liar. And that's what he could be called. And Romans 16 and 20, he as the defeater. He tries to defeat everything, but he has been defeated already. Jesus defeated him. Matthew 15:19 and 20. We've got to be careful because in our mind is a doorway, and if we open it to the devil, he will poke some sin in there and get you off from the track. And Ezekiel 28:17, the mind is the doorway for Satan. He comes through the mind. And Isaiah 14:13 and 14, again, we find that he enters the mind here. We need to read these verses and see that he enters the mind of man. And that's where he comes in and gets started and follows through with that. So, that's the end of that. And if you look at these scriptures, you'll see. If I wanted to give you the Trinity first, I want to give you this. I don't think I did it before. I didn't. Let's look at this. The Trinity. Matthew 28:19. That God is, and he is, and there's none other. God is. And then we see Satan's counterfeit. We have a real God and a counterfeit God. Satan is the counterfeit God. The Trinity, Matthew 28:19, and then you can go to Revelation 13:4 and 12, and verse 12, and see the opposite. And then we have the church. That's Ephesians 5:27. The opposite is Revelation 17:3-6. This is the devil copying the church. And then we see the followers. 1 Peter 1:13 and 14, and Ephesians 2:2 for the devil. And then we see the gospel, John 17:17, and then the devil is Galatians 1:6 and 8, copying. Then we see ministers, Ephesians 4:11 and 12, 2 Corinthians 11:13-15. Whatever God's got, the devil copies. Then we see unity, Ephesians 4:13, and for God and for Satan, it's Mark 13:21-22. Look those scriptures up in sequence, and you will find that the devil is real, and that he's a counterfeit, and he mocks God in places. There are whole churches who are completely duped by him and worship wrongly, and therefore they're not worshiping God the proper way, and they won't make it to heaven either. The devil's got them on his side. Even though they look good, they're not good. Well, we'll see you next time. Brother Peter saying bye-bye.